Hi, welcome back to a view from the fourth floor. I'm Khalid. Today we're going to talk about hopping on the generative AI bandwagon. Now recently I was invited to be part of a panel talking about how generative AI will be shaking up or will be changing the landscape for learning and development. And on the panel, representing myself, representing my company, there were two other panelists, one from an organization who was just about to start to implement generative AI in the organization, and another which was a bit more advanced with already solutions utilizing GenAI being offered. And it was a good mix of experience, because for us, we are also in the midst of implementing and operationalizing using AI in various areas, not only learning and development. Now, one of the key points or commonalities that we can look at is the importance of making sure that we have the right set of data. That data is, the process of cleaning up the data, ensuring that data is housed properly, structured properly, so that you can leverage on the capabilities of AI to generate insights and actions. The other is the question of ethics, especially when it comes to generative AI, in terms of copyright, in terms of intellectual property and all that. So those are some of the key points. I think, to me personally, I think when it comes to generative AI, it's a matter of, if you are not willing to experiment or try it, you'll definitely be left behind, because everyone is basically on board. Now, in my opinion, as a user, someone who just uses this technology, these are very exciting times, because we've seen a lot of developments on service providers, applications that has incorporated elements of generative AI as part of their service offering. Services such as LinkedIn Learning, I think Coursera, they have embedded or incorporated generative AI as part of their search functions, which allows you to structure or query your questions in a manner that will allow you to get better recommendations, better solutions on what learning is required. It's as simple as asking or prompting, you need to develop your skills in area X, with a view of what do you need to do, what are the skills that are available. The more information that you put into your prompts, into your queries, the better the results that you get, and that will shape a more personalized learning experience for you whenever you're using the system. Now, I've talked about how generative AI can help accelerate or make you more productive. But now I think we can see that using generative AI allows for more customization, more personalization, and hence creating a better experience for the users. So if you're still on the fence, or if you're still thinking about when you want to jump in, you need to step up because if you're late to the game, you'll be pretty much left behind. Now, continuing on the theme of generative AI, one of my tasks, I think we're still challenged to look at increasing adoption rate, getting people to learn more, and basically providing people access to learning so that they can better develop themselves. And one of the challenges that we have, because part of a high-performing learning organization, there's a target that we've set ourselves. I mean, as an organization, we've set an amount or a number as part of our learning hours to ensure that people learn more. So, looking at high-performing organizations across the world, there's an average, or there's an indication that high-performing organizations learn around 50 to 80 hours a week. No, sorry, 50 to 80 hours a year on average per staff. So we've decided to go on set a target of around 52 hours. And what does it mean? Now, to me, harping on the learning hours is kind of misleading, because ultimately the hours spent is basically an outcome of all the learning and development activities that people undertake, especially if they want to develop themselves, and if they have a clear idea of what area that they want to develop, then people will learn. So some of the challenge that we have is, how do we make sure, or how do we get people to know or to realize what are the areas that they can develop themselves in. Now, as part of organizations that's growing and that's faced with certain challenges, especially in light of areas of sustainability and all that, we realize that there are some work or some tasks that eventually will need to be relooked, especially in the areas that involve sustainability. Now, a lot of jobs are getting more green, meaning it requires a different way of thinking. It requires people to relook at processes and to assess if certain process can be changed to make it a bit more sustainable. And when we have this, I think there's that need to really upskill and reskill ourselves, especially if we currently work in areas that are not green, right? So when we look at some of the tasks or some of the things that we need to communicate or inform, we want to focus on making sure that people realize that sustainability jobs and all that, it's not just about working in green jobs or green areas. It's about relooking or reassessing how you are doing things now and incorporating elements of sustainability inside it. So for example, if your current job deals with processes, deals with supply chain and all of that, I think thinking about sustainability means that you have to relook at elements of the supply chain. What are the areas that can be improved, and how do we make sure that sustainability is factored in? And amongst other things, once the hypothesis is, if we communicate and if we share with everyone on what is the requirement, what are the areas that they can work on, it will mean that people will be more willing to learn and to upskill themselves about it. So that's some of the areas that I want to think about. Some of the approach, because just asking people to, hey, you have to learn an hour a week. Why? Because it's a target. No, it doesn't make. It would not give you that sense of the intrinsic motivation. And I believe, in my opinion, I think if we give people the reasons or the benefits of what's in it for them, then that learning will come naturally. So we need to balance between how is it forcing or getting people just to learn for the sake of learning, or give people reasons to develop themselves, which then translate into more hours contributed to the learning. Now on to more fun stuff. Arsenal drew against Spurs over the weekend. I think we started the game very well. We took the lead via a deflected own goal. Bukayo Saka shot went into the net via Sergio Romero. I think Spurs was up for it. I think did well. They equalized, and we got the lead again with a penalty, and then just a minute later they equalized. It was a very interesting game. I think both teams wanted to win, but I guess spoils were shared. It's a bit disappointing, because that means we dropped some more points. I think Man City should probably won it again, and I think we're facing them next, so that would be interesting. So I think the other developments, I think Liverpool and Man U also won, so it would be a tight race, but it's still early days, I guess. Football is a game of what, 2 halves now. No, it's only the first part of like about 5 or 6 games into the season, so it's not still too early to make any conclusions. But I guess the experimenting is still being done at Arsenal. We saw the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale being dropped, being replaced by David Raya, who's performing very well, I guess. Although during the draw against Spurs, he did concede 2 goals, so that goes his clean sheet. I guess from a perspective of Aaron Ramsdale, I think you would wonder, how do you get back into the game? I mean, he didn't actually did a lot of wrong, especially in the start of the season when he was playing. But I guess Raya is a player that fits the profile of what or how Arteta wants Arsenal to play. Has good distribution from the back, very commanding in his goalkeeping area, and passes the ball quite well. But again, if you're Aaron Ramsdale, what can you do apart from just showing what you can do in training? Put your head down, get to work quickly, and really take the chance whenever the opportunity presents itself. And I guess that's the challenge that, if you look at it, like normal people like us also face when it comes to our careers and all that. Because sometimes you're performing well, you're getting a lot of opportunities, and other times, you may find yourself losing out. But how you respond is the differentiator, right? You can sulk, you can complain and do nothing, or you work hard and take the opportunity as it comes. So again, good luck to Aaron Ramsdale. I'm sure he'll find a way back into the starting lineup. But if not, he still has a lot to offer the club, especially having just renewed his contract last year. So let's see what happens. So I guess that's it. I think it's a short episode this week. We talk about NND, we talk about AI, we talk about Arsenal. If you guys have anything else you want me to talk about, just hit me up in the comments, and till I come back with the next episode. Bye bye.